All right, today we're going to break down some modal myths and learn them in parallel so you can hear their tonal quality. Today we're going to look at the modes, namely the major modes to begin with. And I'm going to take a slightly deeper dive. So I'm really focused on helping the subscribers that I have understand what modes are, because they are just wonderful when you begin to understand them. And there's so much that you can do with them. I don't care if you're writing songs or improvising jazz. It's absolutely necessary to understand how modes work. And it's not that difficult, so I hope that I explain it well enough. First of all, I just wrote up this little study note thing here. When studying modes, we use the major scale or the Ionian mode as our frame of reference. Now, this is pretty important. We have to start somewhere. We have to start with a frame of reference. And typically, when we study modes, we begin with an Ionian mode as our frame of reference. So if I'm in the key of D, the Ionian mode is like our major scale, right? And the notes in that scale are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. So you can see that we have two sharps, and we have those two sharps to maintain the distances of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 and semitone for a major scale. Okay, so that's our frame of reference. Now, if I want to take a look at another mode, we'll make it D Mixolydian. So we're using the same tonal center, right? And but just with a different mode. Now, the D Mixolydian mode has the notes D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, and D. When we compare these two modes, you can see that we still have an F sharp. So that tells us that both of these modes are going to be major. But we no longer have a C sharp, a semitone below, just a semitone below D. Instead, we have a C natural. So we call this, we call this a lowered seventh degree. Even though we don't have a flat sign or anything in front of it, the position is a whole tone below the D. So note that the seventh degree of the scale is no longer a C sharp, but a C natural. Now, when comparing to the D major scale, we say that the D Mixolydian has a flat 7 or a lowered seventh. All right, and the notes would look exactly as you see them presented right there. Let's try one more mode. This is the Dorian mode. The notes are D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. They're all natural notes in the case of D being the tonal center. And so we notice that F sharp no longer is an F sharp, it's an F natural in D Dorian, making a Dorian mode a minor mode because we have a minor third between D and F. So D to E is a tone, E to F is only a semitone now, making it a minor third. So this is a minor scale, and we still have the lowered seventh. And so I'll just read this here. Note that the Dorian has no F sharp, but instead has an F natural. Comparing the D major scale as our reference, we say that the D Dorian mode has a lowered third, thus making it a minor scale, and also has no C sharp, so it has the lowered seventh. So like the Mixolydian, also has a lowered seventh degree. So that's the way we can compare one mode to another, and it gets more, slightly more complex when you want to compare a D Dorian mode to a D Mixolydian mode, or you want to compare a D Dorian mode to a D Phrygian mode, and so on. But just so that you understand that the point of this is that when we study modes, we have a frame of reference. We have a baseline, and that baseline is always the major mode, okay? And that's not just my own made-up method. That's normally the way it happens in the study of harmony when it comes to modes, okay? Hey, if you're learning something, if you're getting something out of this video, make sure to like and subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment, or buy me a coffee. Thanks. The major modes, and we started with D Ionian. So the D Ionian mode is just our major scale, and the notes in the major scale, as we just did, would be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Between D and F sharp, it's a major third, or in other words, two tones. Giving us a major third, and that major third tells us that this is a major type of scale. The distances between the notes are going to be tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. If I did that logic on the D string, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, and semitone, and that sounds like giving us our common major scale. So it's not really the notes of a scale as much as it is the spacing between the notes. You can wrap your head around that one. So the spacing between the notes in the case of a major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Memorize that. And the one chord in the key of D major would be a D. In the Ionian mode, it'll always be the one chord will be a major, and then the four chord will be also a major, and the five chord also will be a major, and back to the one chord. So we have this really strong one chord, four chord, and five chord, and this is one of the reasons that we in the Western world sort of have gravitated toward the major scale or the Ionian mode because of the strong 1, 4, and 5 chords in that mode. So the strong characteristics of this mode, as I said, are a strong 1 chord, strong 4, and strong 5s, and they're all major chords. Okay, now if I move to the next mode, this one's D Mixolydian. It's like a major scale with a flat 7. So if I take a major scale, there's my C sharp. Now we're going to lower it, and there it is. Right, and that flat 7 gives me a D7 chord. All right, so the notes when we're using D as our tonal center are in Mixolydian are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, natural, and D. It's got that lowered 7th degree, but it still has a major third between the 1 and the 3, making it a major mode. So now the distances between the notes are not the same anymore. We have a tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone. Right? The distances are different than they were in the major scale. The one chord is a D major, or if we take it as far as the 7th, it's a D7 chord, right? This mode is often used to play. It can be used to play over a D7 chord. So it sort of has that flat 7 sort of has a blue note quality, right? So the 1 chord is major, the 4 chord is major as well. and the 5 chord is minor because of that flat 7. And we always have to remember how the notes that are in the scale reflect on the chords that are in the scale, or the harmonization of the scale. So the 5 chord is a minor, right? One major, 4 major, 5 minor, and 1 major. Okay, so the strong characteristic here is it's a major scale with a lowered 7th degree. And, another fairly strong characteristic is that it has a 5 minor chord, which is sort of cool. And that flat 7 gives it a sense of bluesiness, if you will. And the next mode is Lydian mode. Now, the Lydian mode is a major scale with an augmented 4th. We could look at it that way. So a major scale, not with the G as the 4th, but now with a G sharp. And the Lydian mode has a 1 major chord and a 5 major, but it has an augmented 4 half diminished. So if we take these together, major, augmented 4 half diminished, 5 and 1. So it's a lovely mode, but it doesn't have a strong tonal 4 chord. This mode is very common in jazz improv for improvising over a 1 chord. Okay, it has definitely a different quality than a major scale, but it's only the 1 note that's different. So that's, just to recap, the major mode is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's our common, the common major mode, the Ionian mode. We're all used to hearing that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then the D Mixolydian mode has that lowered 7th, the flat 7th degree, giving us the 5 minor chord, and also giving us that blue sounding flat 7. And also giving us a 1 chord that's a 7th chord. So there's the difference between the major and the Mixolydian is only that flat 7. And then the Lydian, now we have the augmented 4, not to be confused with the flat 5, because we can't have 2 different fifths in a scale. We have to count them 1, 2, 3, augmented 4, 5. Okay. And this is also a major mode because we have between the 1 and the 3 is still a D to an F sharp, as it is in Mixolydian, as it is in Ionian. So each of those modes is a major mode. And except the weakness with this Lydian mode is that we have an augmented 4 half diminished. In other words, it's on the 4th degree. The raised 4th degree of the scale is the root, and the chord is a half diminished chord, making it pretty unstable. But that's a completely different story. And then the 5 chord is major. So we have two strong, we have a strong 1 chord and we have a strong 5 chord. And so the strong characteristics of the Lydian mode are, as I said, a major 1 chord, a major 5 chord. We have, and what this creates is 2 leading tones, right? That augmented creates a leading tone to the 5th degree and leading tone to the 7th degree, right? Which is sort of cool because the 5th is such a strong degree. That's such a strong interval, that perfect 5th. And now we have this leading tone right up to that 5th. So 2 leading tones, lacks a strong 4 chord, and instead of that strong 4 chord, we have that dissonant, rather weak, augmented 4 half diminished. Okay, that is it for major modes. I'm sort of hoping that this will give you a little bit stronger idea of how modes work in terms of listening to them in parallel. Starting with the same tonic, we could have started on C, we could have started on E flat. It doesn't matter. But when you compare modes, you have to compare them from the same tonic, or else you'll never know the difference between one mode and another mode. Listening and learning modes relatively has intrinsic problems. And when I say relatively, I mean here is a C major mode, and if I play exactly the same notes from D, that's a D Dorian mode. But the trouble is you're in different keys and you don't hear the qualities of the modes from the same tonal center. So that's a little bit of guitar player theory there for today. This was major modes, and I'm just going to shoot another video on the minor modes, and I think I'll do that right now. So I hope that was a help to you. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope that clarified some things in your understanding of modes and harmony. Okay, thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.